This is the Foxhole Podcast.
Man, it's a little bit windy today, but it is quite the change in temperature from the last couple of days. It's been really nice, and so it really gives me a chance to get outside without too much gear on and just enjoy the weather. I've been thinking a lot about wellness. In fact, I probably think about wellness multiple times a day in different capacities. All right, sometimes my thought process on wellness has to do with my mental wellness or my physical health. Sometimes it's my clinical wellness and how I'm doing with my doctors and appointments and those sorts of things. It also has to do with my physical wellness. I did a podcast last week with Jimmy Arocha, who's a research associate at the GWICTIC, it's the Gulf War Research Institute. And we were talking about wellness, and one of the categories we discussed was financial wellness. And we'll publish that podcast soon, but one of the things that Jimmy had said that struck me in our conversation was that he was talking about his financial wellness and that his budget is this sort of dynamic thing, right? That when he thinks about his financial wellness, he thinks about a budget and his spending and his savings, and having money set aside for a rainy day fund, and he's constantly evaluating it month to month, week to week. There's certain things he wants to do, and maybe he wants to buy something. He doesn't spend what he doesn't have, right? So Jimmy's financial wellness is sound in that it's not static, right? That he's constantly evaluating it. It constantly moves, just like life. Life itself isn't static, right? It's dynamic. And so I think about wellness for me in those terms, that someone who's physically well. I have another friend who's a former Marine, Billy. He's out in Arizona. He's an ultra runner, right? And for Billy, it's the same thing. When I think of him and look at him, I think he's this pillar of physical wellness. He runs these, like on a weekend, he'll throw down like 20, 30 miles. It's incredible to watch him do that. But Jimmy doesn't get to an end of the run, stop and say, oh, my physical health is where it needs to be. My physical wellness is good now. And he just stops. He doesn't, right? He prepares for the next run, and he nourishes his body, and he eats appropriately. And it's his physical wellness is dynamic. He has to get out the door on shorter runs, and he does other things to support those runs. But physical wellness too isn't static, right? You don't get to a destination and you're there. We innately know this, I think, when we think about our own health and wellness. And the same thing with mental wellness. I have another friend who taught me meditation, a meditation practice, and Riza is her name. And when I think about Riza, she's this sort of pillar of mental wellness, right? This groundedness. And for Riza too, she doesn't get to an end of a meditation and say, okay, I'm well, right? It's setting up the next meditation, and that meditation sets up her day, and it's this constant practice, constant evolution. There's ebb and flow in her practice, I'm sure, as it is in mine, that some meditations are better than others. Some are a struggle. But that's just the point that I want to make. That with Jimmy, he's adjusting his budget and his finances, and he's constantly moving it and struggling to get it right. And with Billy, he struggles with every exercise that he does, every PT event he goes out, every run that's over 15 miles, I'm sure is a struggle. He's going up and down hills filled with cactus and rocks and all kinds of stuff. And for Jimmy, it's a struggle. And wellness is a struggle. And I think that's a bit of a misnomer, right? We think about wellness and we hear this word all the time. We're constantly like in this mindset that wellness is a rainbow. It's some sort of unicorn we get to and we're well. And we have wellness. Well, wellness is a struggle, right? It's a struggle towards something good. It's a struggle towards something better in whatever category it happens to be, whether your spiritual wellness or your mental wellness or your physical wellness. It's not a destination that you get to. It's not the end of the race. It's not the end of the meditation. It's not the completion of a budget. It's the constant transformation of those things, movement of those things, momentum of those things. that those things are constantly evolving, just like life is constantly evolving. And I guess I want to share that, just to be aware that that's what wellness is. Wellness is a struggle. Another friend of mine who I respect dearly, his name's Bill. He runs a Facebook page called The Man Up Project. Go check that out. And Bill, when he was struggling with his wellness and his overall, robustness, he decided to seek out all of the experts in wellness. And what he found, and he just told me this the other day, he said what he found was that by and large, the experts that he sought out didn't have it all together, right? They weren't complete perfect, right? That he started to understand himself that to struggle well and to be well and to have wellness is about momentum and movement. It's not static. It's not still. It's a journey. And so every day I step out here so I can get near this creek. I step out here so I can get the sun and get vitamin D, add to my mental wellness and my physical wellness. It is a journey, and I see it that way. And so should you. Don't think wellness is a place that you're getting to. Think of wellness as a journey of a lifetime.
This is the Foxhole Podcast.